Ah, we have quorum.
The office too. So you had.
Thank you.
Hi, Buck.
You're all set.
Thank you. We got a quorum call. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's city council meeting. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Kazarian, absent. Councilperson Lavasser,
Here.
Councilperson Solano,
Present.
Councilperson Figueroa.
Here.
Councilperson Baena, absent. Councilperson Rosado Martinez, absent. Council President Perry.
Present.
Council President, we have quorum.
Thank you. All please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is public comment.
Mr. Clerk, it appears no one has signed up for a public comment.
Next item on the agenda, and item 4, approval of records, meeting minutes from November 27, 2023, council meeting.
Has everyone reviewed the minutes of the last meeting?
Yes. Mr. President, at this time, I'd like to acknowledge that Councilwoman Baena has arrived. Time is 6:04.
Hello. Is there a motion on the approval of minutes?
Second.
Councilman Bassi, Councilman Solano, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Next,
One abstention.
next item on the agenda under item 5 is executive communication, Department Financial Reports, November 2023, City Clerk's Office, Fire Department, Department of Public Works, Police Department.
So received.
Next item on the agenda is item 6, new business, City Council sitting as Board of Licensing Commissioners, consideration of petition of licensing. We have a second-hand transfer. The business name is J Furniture LLC, doing business as J Furniture, 1269 Broad Street. I believe the owner is Mr. Jose Thibodeau Castro. Mr. Please come up. Step with us.
Hi, good evening. How you doing?
Hello.
Necesito un intérprete.
Por favor.
Puede decir su nombre y el negocio.
Mi nombre es José.
¿Te puedes acercar un poquito al micrófono?
Mi nombre es
Gracias.
José Castro y mi negocio es J Honey.
My name is Jose Castro, my business is J Furniture.
I understand you want to be open 7 days a week, is that correct?
O si quiere estar abierto 7 días a la semana.
Exactly.
From 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
I'm sorry.
10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
De 10 a las 3 de la tarde.
Exacto.
So this business is a transfer only, so this business is already open, you just transferring the ownership. O sea, este negocio es un negocio que ya está abierto, pero tú estás haciendo un intercambio de un transfer de dueño.
Exactamente.
Anyone have any further questions? I think it's fairly simple transfer. No further questions?
There hasn't been there's no issue from
No.
previous owners.
No, and what happened with this particular business, he was at a different site. If I recall, the owner sold the business, so he opted to move.
Oh, okay.
Sold the building, I should say, so he opted to move from the location.
Oh, okay. nada más preguntando si había alguna inquietud o algo así, pero nos explicaron que el dueño previamente había vendido el edificio, entonces se mudó.
I make a motion to approve.
Have a motion.
Second.
Mr. Wong. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Best of luck.
Ya.
Congratulations.
Hasta luego.
Next item on the agenda is a mobile food establishment, new, Mr. John Fields doing business as Don Juan's, 2160 Broad Street, Cranston. Mr. Fields? How you doing?
Hi,
Hello.
Amy. To start off, there's some confusion with your hours. You got 11 a.m. to 1 a.m., is that correct?
So what it is me and my partners, we invested in a food truck. We're not sure exactly what food we're selling yet. We just know we want to be able to sell food. We know we want to be able to go to the events, and it all starts with the permit. So I don't see us really selling food till 1 o'clock in the morning. It's just, those were the hours that was available, so that's what I put on the paper.
What realistically hours do you feel you would be selling?
Whatever the festivals are, and I don't think we're gonna do a whole lot in Central Falls besides the festivals.
Oh, I see, basically, because that was my next question. Do you have a location where you think you're gonna set up? Or is the location basically gonna be at the festivals?
Correct.
Okay,
The festivals.
those are the basic questions. And you also have up to 7 days a week.
Okay.
So if there were 7 festivals,
We were just covering the bases.
Yeah,
This is what
I
the option
understand.
is, that's what
Okay,
we put.
you shot for the moon and,
Well, if you planning to maintain this open only for festival, then you're gonna be open as much as you say here, because that's not much effective to the other years. Especially festival in summer times and things like that, so if you just want to have your business open, and potentially you're gonna have open till 1 because there's businesses that are open till that time, we understand that, but so.
At this time, I do not believe so, but we just wanted to keep the option open if it ever happens.
I don't believe we have any festival that's gonna go to 1 a.m. No way.
This is, so I am actually building 3 food trucks right now.
Oh, good.
This is the first one, so I'm learning my curve.
Okay.
Now, if Johnny Cash sings, are you going to be at,
I probably would go.
For the business too, I bet.
yes.
I still actually, I have a record player with Folsom Prison Blues, and I still listen to that record.
There's a gentleman that goes around, imitating a couple of them. Yeah. Anyone else?
I do. I have a question. I just know, what's the reason why, we said Maine, it seems like the White House is on, it's showing Maine over there. What's the reason for that?
Sorry.
On the application,
The application, on the block. Right here, see how it's, is there a reason?
That's the state, that's it. Oh, that was just the state. That's a good location.
is it usually because it's public record, so you try to?
We redact some information, so that was probably just mistaken redacted.
Any further questions of the applicant?
No.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Councilman Lavachi to approve, seconded by Rafael and Infra. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Best of luck.
Thank you very much, have a great night.
Motion passes
You too.
5-0.
Good luck with your business.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is item B, consideration of the 2023-2024 business license renewals. At this time, Council President, I ask if we could dispense with reading all of the names and vote collectively.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Do it all collectively, the license renewal, make a motion to approve all
Which one we are talking about?
right here, B.
The license
6B.
renewals,
License renewal.
For the kin,
yeah, for
Skin
Kings,
mold?
Mastamoy,
Okay.
Miriam,
They're all-
Pilates,
Yes, they're all-
Dexter, Fukuoka.
Right here, you have the beginning of the agreement.
All those together, right?
Yep. Unless there's like any concern about about any of them, I would move to, approve them. I'll second.
Motion, Councilman Mayor, second by Councilwoman Rossi. Any further discussion on renewal of the license in front of us? Seeing none, hearing none, roll call, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda is item B under new business, is petition to the council. We have a renewal license extension request by Mr. Jose Lima at 5961 Central Street. Doing business as Lima's Place, 499 High Street. Mr. Lima, you can please approach.
Hi, Mr. Leo.
How are you, sir?
I have a question for you.
Yes.
When was the last time you were open?
Like owner in business?
I opened your business open.
It was been quite I've been through a lot of stuff, you know,
Over
that's
the
what I
years,
mean, it's like things like that, apartments to handle about it's been quite a while, so,
Yeah,
but I'm trying to be open February, okay, so I'm doing some renovation in the inside there, definitely, will be open.
I can recall one time we approved, you have only, technically, you have only so many days to,
Exactly.
within the open, once we approve it. I think it's 60 days, that might be wrong.
Mhm.
And that was a number of years ago, and then I know you haven't been open, correct?
Yeah, I did, doing some, parties, functions, you know, bank, you know what I mean, so, but I'm not steady open, but I'm looking to be, you know, open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, with different, business, so, banquets, you know what I mean, so.
When do you think you'll be ready to open?
Open February to March.
Any questions of the applicant?
So to confirm what the request is to get an extension on renewing his license?
Well, this is the thing, I believe there is a sunset clause, he hasn't been open in a while, I don't know if he has to, is he talking the old license, or if he could actually start all over?
His renewal process technically ended December 1st. Mr. Lima is here to ask for an extension because he's been renovating his business, so he wasn't ready to actually open the business on December 1st and renew the license. So that's why he's asking for this extension for 6 months or so, in which case he's saying until March.
And I can add to that, if you're talking about abandonment of a license, that only applies to A licenses, so this is an appropriate request.
Mhm.
It's legal request, so.
Yes.
Anyone else have any questions for the applicant?
I move to approve, absolutely request.
Motion by Councilman Serrano, second by Councilwoman Rossi.
I just have one other question, on the petition, it's signed on the 29th, but then unless it's just like the way it's written, but it looks like it's the 24th, right?
That's probably just.
Just the kind of thing, okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Motion passes.
Best of luck, Ty. I
All right, thank you,
hope
sir.
you do get open in February.
Yeah, I will, thank you.
My birthday's the 18th. I don't drink.
And we will not celebrate.
The next item on the agenda is item B, under petitions, extended hours for New Year's Eve. Mr. Jose Mendez, 159 Warren Ave, Pawtucket, doing business at 765 Taqueria Lounge. Is Mr. Mendez here? I do not see Mr. Mendez.
I think we're usually like pretty good about doing this, but it would be nice to have him present.
No.
Like we're usually-
Well, we're gonna back up on that.
No, I'm just saying, like usually, we hear people out, but
Oh,
he's not
yeah.
here, so.
We're usually good about granting this, because this is an issue that I think we solved, a few months ago, when there was an ordinance, and, We can get to the applicants first, so we can have a little bit of, background, particularly from, public safety. In fact, I wanna call on Chief Mello first. Want to speak on, extended hours. Very big concern.
Mr. President, would it be okay if we called all of the businesses up
Yes.
so you can address them all? at the
Yeah,
same
Yes.
time?
yeah, that's why I was gonna request to, to do it all, when we have 4 requests and,
Four requests,
extended
that's
hours
correct.
for the same days. And it's important for us to listen what is, the feedback of the chief of fire, and also John Carroll, the mayor, on these, petitions.
That's why I'm
The
calling them up.
second request comes from Julian Segura, 57 Vicksburg Street, Providence, doing business as La Cantina Bar and Restaurant, 664 Dexter. The third request comes from Jose Dos Santos, 67 Webster Street, Pawtucket, doing business as JD's Bar, 137 Central. And the final request comes from Mr. Carlos Ramirez, 695 Lonsdale Ave, doing business as La Taberna Lake Club, 695 Lonsdale Ave.
Thank you. Thank you. And we're all here but one, right?
Two of
Yes,
them.
no,
Two of
two are not here, Mr. Segura is not present, Mr. Mendez is not present, we have Mr. Dos Santos and Mr. Ramirez both here.
Okay, now I'd like to, have the chief come up and, from the police department point of view, or I can give you an overview right now why I think it's a terrible idea. I'd like the chief to come up, if you can, Chief. Thank you.
Good evening. Last year we sat here and, I vehemently opposed it, and I still do, because between midnight and 3 AM, there's really not much positive going on at those hours, regardless of the state law or whatever law says you have to stop serving alcohol. I'm older, but I was young at one point, a young firefighter. If we were in a place where they said, last call, everybody ran up to the bar and bought as much alcohol as they could. Because I just don't think people will sit in a bar from 12:30 or 1 AM to 3 AM and not drink. What's the point? They're not gonna sit there, they've been drinking since 8, 9 o'clock at night, it's New Year's Eve. And we see, myself and the major, we see some serious carnage in the streets. And I just don't think it's a safe idea, public safety, and I know you guys have all supported public safety, each one of you. It's a strain on the fire department if we're tied up. We just got tied up a couple of weeks ago at La Cantina. There was a fight, there was stuff going on in the parking lot, there was people arrested. We were over at the police station tending to people that got cut, one guy got bit. It's chaos. And so we just, they do a great job, all these businesses that are open, but to allow them to stay open until 3 AM is just, it's not, in my opinion, I'm just commenting that it's very difficult on us, even more difficult for the police department to manage all these places.
Thank you, Chief. Major, would you like to speak briefly on behalf of the police?
Thank you very much. The two particular bars that are here this evening, La Taberna and JD's, police department has had no issues with the bars. There's only been 2 calls for service within 2023, and 1 call for service only for an alarm. That being said, however, New Year's Eve is traditionally one of our busier evenings. We end up adding new manpower to the shifts. This week I've added 4 additional staff members, 2 from 8 PM to 12 AM and 2 from 12 AM to 4 AM. 3 out of the 4 officers had to be mandated to be able to fill the shifts and fill the extra manpower for the bars. The police department, Kurt Roberson, would echo Chief Mello's sentiment. I understand the businesses want to be open to make more money. I understand that. But with the law in place that at 12:45 you have to stop serving alcohol, you're now adding an additional 2 hours. Whereas, as Chief Mello just said, if the average person goes up and grabs 2 or 3 drinks at 12:30, the obvious sobering up point is not going to happen. I would love to be able to stand here and tell you that we would love to be able to place a police officer at every single establishment in the city. We not have the manpower. And I also think it would be too much of an expense on the businesses and the taxpayers. I believe 1 AM works. I know other communities that surround us, particularly Pawtucket, does do 3 AM. However, Pawtucket has 5 times the additional officers on their police department that they can call from. We do not. So based on the public safety aspect, Colonel Robeson wanted me to echo, as Chief Mello did, the police department at this time would be against the extended hours.
I got a question for you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
if it could.
Yeah.
Do any of the owners of those businesses have met with you on regard of these petitions?
No,
Any one of them?
no, not at all.
Any one of them? And what about you, Chief? No. Because I do understand also I'm not agree with the point of view of the president that it's a terrible idea because everyone has different point of view. However, I do understand that the situation here in the city of Central Falls with the staffing of the police officer and what we have to secure the whole city, and I do understand that point. So, I do understand that and okay with that, not okay with what the president said. It's a terrible idea because I mean, some people want to receive the New Year's and want to celebrate it up. Unfortunately, we do not have the staffing available to maintain the security and in the city of Central Falls, and especially with any one of them met with you to make strategies to see if they're gonna have an extra security thing like that. So we kindly have confidence on that.
Can I add?
Sure.
I would second Councilman Solano's sentiments around the fact that I don't think it's a terrible idea. I think, we did allow it a couple of times for Goodfellas when they were here and maybe another business. And I know there's 4 petitions here, but there's only 2 business owners here. So I would say by default, the other 2 business owners, they're not here to make a case or anything, so I wouldn't even consider those. But to your point, Councilman Solano, about the meeting with the police department or the fire department to make a strategic plan, like I think that potentially if we were to approve this, that's an opportunity for now the business owners to come together with the police department and fire departments to create that strategic plan, whether it's to add security. It would be 2 businesses as opposed to 4. Again, this is just my opinion. We're all entitled to ours. And so, I think we've, prior to you being on as council president, Councilwoman Ferry, we did have this approval of other businesses. And I don't believe there was an issue. Correct me if I'm wrong, Major, but I think when Goodfellas had done it, it went well. They had extra security at the space. I mean, now it's La Cantina, and again, Mr. Segura's not here, and you already had an issue there, so that wouldn't even be a consideration for me. But considering the 2 businesses that are here, La Taberna and JD's, and considering the fact that there hasn't been issues this year, 2, and I've gone to both. I frequent La Taberna more, but I noticed the type of service that's provided there, how they try to follow the law, and how organized it's been. And so, in my opinion, I would move to approve these 2 businesses contingent upon there being like an actual plan with the police department and fire department first. That's just, again, my.
Let's go, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I really like, I'm listening to the police department and the fire department. I mean, it's an issue there, it's a safety, for me, safety is more important than anything else. So I understand the business, I know, 2 more hours is a lot, but I do have an issue. I see so many children all over the place and so many things going on. I think the 2 more hours break it, and I really agree with that.
I'd like to add, plus where does it end? 2 bars, 4 bars, next year 6, 8, 10. In addition, 3 o'clock, 3 AM, as soon as neighboring communities probably in the Massachusetts find out, oh, we go to Central Falls till 3 AM. Do you think that is a positive? Nothing good happens after hours, okay? Our law right now is 1 AM, stop serving at 1:15. And there's no reason to bend that law for one night of the year.
But there
No.
is a clause within the law that says.
Let me finish, please, okay? A liability to this city is impeccable. It would hurt us, it already did. 2022 it happened. I understand the police wasn't even notified, okay? It was chaos, okay? Just the perception alone. What do you mean Central Falls was open till 3 last night? 3 bars, 4 bars? Where does it end? Number one concern, I can't express it anymore, is public safety. I would not want to see one police officer involved over there, or 1 or 2 rescues have to go to bars, particularly after hours. That is not fair for public safety. The city of Central Falls deserves some peace and quiet, and just because it's New Year's Eve, whatever, that doesn't mean we can open up the city. Doesn't work that way. Public safety is number one. Police and fire are public safety. So there's nothing positive here. You can do what you want. Everybody has a vote. But there's nothing positive here. What is the positive? Tell me.
I do wanna make it clear that I'm not condoning something happening to police officers or fire.
No, I'm not saying that, but it
you
can't
know,
happen. It would be
I
condoning,
understand,
but
and it could happen
let's
right
pre-
now.
let's prevent something like this.
Sure.
This is.
But again, it's like, it almost feels like you're trying to impose your view, and I understand.
I am.
I understand that,
okay.
right,
I
but you're
am.
imposing it, we're sharing our view, but you're trying to impose it, and so
You're
it's
gonna,
like,
you're gonna have a vote.
right, and that's what I'm trying to get at, we all have a vote, and whether
Absolutely,
people agree or not.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I just wanna push back a little bit, because it sounds like, you know, for my comments, we're taking as, you know, that maybe I'm disregarding public safety or something like that, and I just wanna make it clear that that is not the case. Again, just sharing the historical sort of piece of when I've been on the council and what we've done in the past, like sharing the you know, the success that these businesses have had, and the fact that there haven't been many issues, just kind of highlighting those things, but not against public safety at all. Just want to make that very clear.
Okay, it happened once in 2022. I've been on the council 17 years. That was the only year I believe they had that. Okay, so again, tell me the advantages of opening to 3 AM.
I also think that there's a cultural piece here, you know, people celebrate, it's different, you know, we all have different customs, not everyone has a family to celebrate with or go, you know, celebrates at their home. Some people do go out to celebrate. So I think there's also a cultural piece here that I feel like I understand and I can relate to, and that's the only piece I'm not saying it's positive or negative, I'm just saying there's more to it than positive or negative. It's just, there's something to consider.
Yeah, no, you didn't have your voice.
I respect everybody's opinion. I mean, this is the whole idea. This is why we're here. I mean, that's what we vote. I mean, my concern is the safety. I mean, it's more than anything else. I'm not against anyone. This is my opinion, and I see every day. I mean, every day it's getting worse and worse. I mean, up to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, the only thing you see people around, and people's like, I'm sorry, but this is what I see. And I have a concern about that. And to me, a beautiful city, I think we're doing great. I think it just be people talking all over the state so good about our city, you know. I don't want to ruin it just for one day. This is my opinion.
And I totally respect it. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I can understand both sides. In the past, as Councilwoman Baena said, and this could be me, have we allowed 3 AM? For some reason that,
It feels
and I
like it's
could
2
be
AM,
wrong. I
not
think
3.
3 AM is extensive for sure.
To my
And I know she's
recollection, I
mentioned-
don't believe it's been three.
I was gonna say,
believe
this
it's gone
one
as
was
far
to
as
the
2
a.m.
2
I feel-
a.m., but I don't think it's been 3.
What I'm
just
saying
wanted-
is,
I think usually they will ask for 3, but the council has
but
come
then
back
we
with
reduce
rebuttal
it,
of 2.
yeah,
Okay.
but we have extended, that's what I was trying to get at.
No,
Yeah, as I was just trying to clarify, because when I read the notes previous, I thought 3 was.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think what I, like, the point I was trying to make was that we have allowed the business to stay open a little bit later
Yeah,
on New Year's Eve, one night. And I think there was requests to have like security there, right? It wasn't just, you know, an approval and that was it. It was like there was contingencies of putting a plan in place and working with fire and police to ensure safety as well.
Anyone else?
I mean, repeating again and understanding the point of view of the chief of the fire and the police chief, and understanding that the business owner didn't meet with them to make a strategic plan on it. And then there is no business for them if they have to start selling product, alcohol. At 1 o'clock is still open to 3. It's no business. There's no point to spend hours like that because nobody want to be in business or doing things without what they're looking for to have fun and entertainment. So probably in the future, it would be better if they well prepared, met with the police and make sure that make a strategic plan to make sure that you can do the thing. Personally, I'm not against it. I mean, I don't feel that we should be running the city or the business based on concern. Because I mean, if it is for concern about business, won't even open doors, concerning about all the situation of the economy is bad, how it's going to be prosperity, everybody have to take the chances to run a business. Unfortunately, the circumstances in this case probably don't allow us to extend the time because of that. But I actually want to assure you that I am not against it.
I'm not against business. I just don't want people to think I'm against business. So that's not what it is. I'm just concerned about the safety of the city. I really do. I work at Bridgewater State University, and people just over there, it's like, oh yeah, you're from Central Falls. Central Falls, we go to the horse race. Maybe we can go maybe in the middle, maybe 2, I don't know. But I do have an issue with 3 a.m. personally. That's my opinion.
I think 3 is a little steep myself. Major, you could have answered this, I apologize, I'm having a day. Would a detail, if they were willing to pay, I know you might not be able to give an affirmative answer, and I don't know if fire would feel the same. Is there any like happy medium if they were willing to pay for a detail that evening, even if like Councilman Figueroa said the additional, what would be an hour if we said 2 to try to meet in the middle, maybe?
Well, Colonel Roberson, one of the things you also have to consider the expense of the business.
Sure.
It's a holiday. Our rate is $118 an hour, minimum 4 hours, minimum 2 officers. So now you're talking over $900 to stay that they would have
You
to
answered
pay.
my, you answered my
They have to
question.
pay the police officers to stay open for 2 hours prior to 2 hours that they can no longer serve. And I'm not thinking the businesses are gonna make up a $900 deficit
Right.
for 2 hours of serving food. Plus one other thing to consider, and I do not know if it is still the practice within these 2 establishments, but there are in the past that have been establishments that served, that had bottle service. As far as Aguardiente, I've been to a few businesses within town that they would sell bottles of Aguardiente. There's nothing that tells the businesses that they can at 12:40 sell 2 bottles of Aguardiente to a table of 8 people. So now you have 2 full bottles of hard liquor that people are doing shots on for another 2 hours. And I understand you want to make money with your businesses. As being here for 27 years, I want the businesses to do well. However, I want them to make their money in a way that it's going to be safe not only for them, but for the city, ultimately.
Thank you.
I just want to add one thing, Council President, all the council. 2 weeks ago, when I was at the meeting, and it was about provisional liquor licenses for 2 places that have had a history of trouble. And based on what I saw here, they both came up and they were like, what can I do? I need help. They want help from the police department. There's not enough police officers, not enough firefighters. And they both stood there, both owners, and said, what are we supposed to do at 12:30, 1:15, or 12 o'clock? We can't control who comes in our place. We have security. They're afraid of the guys. Some guys come in, they said, packing guns, knives. And their security, hey, they got family. They're security guards. Or they're just someone being paid to try to keep the peace. They're petrified. So if they can't control it at 12, 12:30, there's no one in this room, nobody, that can say what's gonna happen at 1, 2 a.m. Because if somebody comes in, locked and loaded, and they're mad at somebody, I mean, that was a simple fight that got out of hand at the other place. I mean, it's just, they stood here, and you got the transcript, they were pleading, saying, what can we do? They basically wanted to like hire police, they can't, there's just not enough of them. Both of those places, 2 weeks ago, when we had a meeting. So, I mean, they were, it's just, I don't know, that's just my opinion, like you just said, and the colonel said, it's gonna be a strain on them more than us, but it would be a strain on us too, because if things get out of hand, we got one rescue running with our engines, our ladder. We'd have to respond and try to patch people up if it's a shooting, stabbing, or a fight. Just a fight the other night turned out to be, we gotta get an out-of-town rescue, our rescue. There was 3 people at the police station arrested, but they were all cut, one person got bit. That wasn't even New Year's Eve, that was just a regular weekend night, that's all it was. But the wild card is always the alcohol. If everybody was drinking soda, I don't think anybody would be having fistfights. But, and that was the security doing their job, and it went sideways. He was patting people down, checking for weapons, and the people that were coming in got offended, and it was a fight at that La Cantina. It just, they didn't want to be touched, they didn't want to be patted down. I walk in a place, if they go ahead, pat me down, I don't have anything on me.
Yeah.
If you're the guy ready to start a fight, but we're getting pat down, that's a problem. That's a major problem. So, that's all I had.
Thank you so much,
Tatiana,
Chief Melo and.
bueno, cancelo la petición mía para que no haya después, para que no cancelémosla. Mejor.
He would, Mr. Ramirez, is saying, considering the discussion, he'd be willing to withdraw his petition.
Thank you, that's a wise
Así
decision.
no hay problema.
So, Major, President, I just want to thank you, Chief Melo and Major Caro for all you do for the city, for the safety and the security and the peace of Central Falls. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chief Mello made a good point. He said, the security is there to do a business, but they have a family to go home to. And
That's right.
Yeah.
both of these apartments
That is
every
correct.
day have families that they need to be going home to. So their safety is not that I'm questioning anybody here, but it's, we need to think of them as well.
Well, with that, we're end the discussion. I think we all set our piece. It's not a win-win for the city.
Tatiana,
Wait.
una pregunta.
Ah,
¿Me puedes
bien.
confirmar bien lo que están exigiendo para permitir?
If I may, she's asking, what is the request that is being made in order for the petition to be approved? So I'm gonna say that there is no specific request, because we're not allowing them to even have this conversation. So no están pidiendo nada en este momento porque no les están dando ni siquiera la oportunidad de reunirse para hacer un plan. What I was saying was, at this point, if we decided to approve, there could be a condition of that plan and, have a request from the fire and police department in order to approve, right? Like there could be an approval contingent upon that, and if that contingency is not met, then the approval is void. Lo que yo estaba diciendo era que podíamos aprobar con una cláusula diciendo que usted tiene que hacer un plan con el departamento de policía y el departamento de bomberos para poder aprobar. Si usted no hace ese plan, entonces ya la aprobación pues queda cancelada. Pero al parecer no están de acuerdo con
Good,
eso.
good, 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 yes.
Now, yo puedo decir algo. Can I say something? We allowed this to happen last year, until two. And I've been open since 2019, that's never been an issue. I mean, I'm trying to ask for deal to,
Yeah, that was last year, that was the only time, so 2022, and I think that was the only time in the history of the city.
No,
I don't know how it went, but I know there wasn't a lot of communication with the police department, I don't know about the fire department. The bottom line, our licenses right now are 1 AM to stop serving at 1:45. Okay, this has got nothing to do with what's on the books. There's nothing on the books that says we have to allow this. This is a request for one night, I understand. We hashed this all up. In fact, about 5 weeks ago, there was an ordinance just that covered this, and that was shot down after we listened to the police and fire department, which makes up public safety. They cannot guarantee the safety of the residents. Now there's more than one. That year, I think there was only one bar that wanted. Now there's 4. Next year there'd be 6, maybe the whole city.
I totally
And the
understand.
biggest problem is, also, one of the bigger problems is out of town. Word gets out, Central Falls is open till 3 or 2, whatever, let's go there. And a lot of times, a lot of the problems got nothing to do with the residents of Central Falls, it's outsiders. How do we stop them?
I don't understand, but this business is very tough. I go through a lot to keep this business open, a lot.
Yeah, but for one night, it's not gonna.
No, I
like-
don't understand,
Like the major
I
said.
got good people that goes there, good customers, there's never been an issue, and that's the reason I
Yeah.
came here. Just because one place, one bar had an issue, I just don't think I should be punished because the other bar had an issue, that's my opinion, you know?
And just to clarify, if I'm not mistaken, on the ordinance, it does say 1 AM, and then there's language that allows for there to be the, approval of the council. So I just wanna make that clear, like, in the ordinance, from what I recall, it states that it's 1 o'clock, and that there's this, like, contingency for the council, or this clause that says, like, the council could approve other hours if we decided to. Again, I'm not trying to sway anyone's opinion, it's very clear where we stand, but I just wanna be clear that in the ordinance, there is that language.
But that language tried to be amended about 5 weeks ago, and it was shot down for many reasons, particularly public.
But it's already there then, so if it was shut down, then the language remains.
That's the original, but there was an amendment to that about 5 weeks ago. I don't know if you probably wanted to.
I was not here because I
Did the
just
amendment
didn't
pass?
get what
No, it
still,
didn't.
Right, so.
exactly,
that's
so
my
then that
point.
means
Yeah,
So
the,
it doesn't
right.
exist.
That was tried.
Okay,
So
so
that
the
does-
language
Yeah,
does stay,
No,
no,
so
I
it doesn't
agree.
exist,
I
so,
agree.
you know, respectfully, we can't go back to yesterday, so
Exactly. Is
it is
there,
as it stands.
is there a
right, and
motion?
as it stands is that there is that language that allows the council to do that.
Are you making a motion to?
I did make a motion, no one seconded, but, yeah.
Is there a second? I'll second the.
I'll second hers to bring it to a vote, to give it a
Okay.
fair shot.
We have a motion and a second to approve 4 petitions tonight.
No, I did not say 4 petitions, I was very clear as the fact that the 2 businesses that aren't here would not, I would not approve them collectively, I was talking about the 2 businesses that are here. And considering the, testimony from fire and police, I'd amend the motion to 2 AM, not 3 AM.
And then we need a motion to award only the 2, because initially we were discussing it as a collective, so your motion covered everyone.
Okay, yeah, so I would amend my motion to say, I would move to approve this, petition for JD's Bar and La Taberna nightclub only, upon them, reviewing with, or meeting with the police and fire department and coming up with a strategic plan for it. And only those 2 businesses until 2 AM.
And your second echo that.
I'll call it to a vote, I'll second it.
Roll call vote.
Councilwoman Obasa,
I'll vote yes.
Councilman Solano,
I abstain to vote.
abstain. Councilman Figueroa? No? Councilwoman Diana?
Yes.
Councilman Perry?
No.
We have a tie. So motion doesn't pass.
Thank you for your time, thank you, Chief, and thank you, Major.
Ay, meu Deus.
Thank
You
you.
guys have a lovely night.
You too.
No pasó.
Primero la seguridad. Gracias.
Hasta luego.
Thank you.
Take care.
Next item on the agenda, under item 7, schedule of bills, hearings, and or consideration, a resolution honoring Lisette Gomez Esquire for her 10 years of remarkable and distinguished service to the residents of Central Falls as prosecutor in the municipal housing court. Sponsored by Councilman Ferry, Councilman Solano, Councilwoman Lavasa, Councilwoman Diana, Councilwoman Rosado Martinez, Councilman Figueroa, and Councilman Cesario.
And second, for all of us as well.
Yes, that's good. But she's not here. She's wonderful. She's did a great job over the years. I guess, voice vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair simply votes aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda is item B, an ordinance amending the redevelopment agency ordinance, presented by Councilman Ferry, introduction.
So introduced.
Next item on the agenda is adjournment.
Before we adjourn, it appears this is the last meeting of the year. So I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you for you as well. Council President.
On the adjournment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Enjoy.
John.
What?